All right, cool. So that's the movement. That's categorized as the Suzy Q. And this is a very foundational move. So I'm going to break it down into 4 levels. So for right now, we're going to start at level 1, which is going to be for the pure beginner. So essentially, if you haven't learned yet, we have this move in salsa called the hook step, which essentially involves taking your foot and placing it right next to each other. And a good rule of thumb to know that you're doing this right is we never dance with locked out knees, right? They're always bent. And when we hook our step, our thighs should be touching. That's how you get to keep the move clean and start integrating good muscle memory. Because as we get more into complex moves like heel twists and you start adding styling, the move looks very clean as your thighs are touching to keep everything tight. Because the moves in salsa are very quick, so you have to keep the weight underneath your feet essentially. And when we're doing that for the beginner, it's really just stepping everything and knowing that every step is a weight transfer. So we're here on 1, 2, 3. If you notice, I'm able to lift up my legs. Like, obviously we don't dance it like this, but just to show you that I'm transferring my weight fully so I can lift the other leg. But in its essence, it's just right there. It's very small steps. So that's the move for a beginner. Now I'm going to tell you. So now for level 2, now instead of stepping everything, we're going to keep the weight on the balls of our feet like a releve. Comes from ballet, and it's where your ankles are going to be tight because you're holding all your weight on that inner ball of your foot. Yes? But we're still keeping the fundamentals of keeping everything tight. And a good mental cue, like I said before, is making sure that your thighs are touching. Because now, by being on that releve, you're going to be able to, instead of stepping, twisting. So the beginner is just stepping, right? But an advanced beginner should be able to twist now every step and keeping it tight while keeping your torso straight. Okay? So that's the main difference between level 1 and level 2. Now I'm going to go over level 3. So now for level 3, we're going to combine the elements from a level 1 and level 2. Meaning we're going to combine our releve with our stepping. Why? Because as you notice, probably one of your favorite dancers, you notice there's constant little bounce. And that bounce is really a level change. So when we're going to come from it, when we're going to level change, the level changes happen by literally either bending your foot, lower, not your foot, bending your knee more, or raising on your tippy toe, yes? But the thing is, in the Suzy Q, since we're on our releve, we're already on our tippy toe. So really the easiest way to change your level is either A, stepping your foot all the way, so making the heel practically kiss the ground, or just bending more at the knee. But for me, I find it's a lot easier to, especially with really quick music, just to step the foot and kind of bend the back knee more. Because once we go back into that releve, you could really see the distinction in the level change. Yes? So that's going to happen by coming at it from a basic 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Our 7s and our 3s, where we transition into that 1 and 5, are going to be steps now. So when we raise, so it's going to be 7, and that 8 count is going to be same weight is on that 7 on that left foot, but we're going to tippy toe, and that's going to cause a level change, and we're going to land our 1 on that tippy toe, on that releve. So you could have that level change, and then once we step back into our 3, we can go back, putting our weight kind of like a flat foot or on that heel to again raise the level and drop that 5 on that releve. And that's how you get that nice level change. Yes? So remember, the level change comes from stepping the foot more, stepping the foot, having your weight more flat-footed instead of being on a releve, and bending that back foot a little more. Yes? Ah, it's like that. That's something one of my teachers did. And then now I'm going to tell you level 4, which is pretty easy. It's more of an accent. But you'll see. Now that I'm thinking about this, I think level 3 was level 4. Like, I just came up with this shit. But let's just call this level 4, because this is gonna be like the cherry on top to really make the move look clean. Once you have those 3 elements, is that on that transition on our 4s and 8s, when we're coming from that descending position, instead of just bringing like twisting and bringing your foot, I really want you to exaggerate that foot, that transition, by going on a passe. So passe comes from ballet, and it means that your toe is touching your knee. And it creates this flex knee position. And what we're doing is we're not coming at it straight, right? Once we step, we have more balance on that 3, on our 3s and our 7s, to go on a passe, still keeping in mind that we have to releve on that same foot and twisting, yes? And then that makes the move look very clean. And that's it for the footwork. Now I'll go over the upper body. So for our upper body, our body movement in general, our hips are already taken care of from the twist itself. So I'm going to start from the bottom up, starting from the torso. So the torso and the shoulders are going to just move in your basic salsa motion. Meaning wherever your weight is, your torso and your shoulder are going to be towards that side. Yes? So in our 1, our torso and our shoulder are pushing towards the right. And during our 2, they're pushing towards the left. And it just keeps repeating. Yes? And on those 4s and 8s, instead of going so quickly, we kind of exaggerate the transition by slowing it down. Yes? The only type of styling that I usually see done, I'll style this move eventually in the future. I just haven't had the time. But the easiest way to style this is just with your neck. So doing like a head roll. So when we're going onto our 1 and we're going to start going to our left, you want to prep your neck towards the right and then raise it up towards the left. So it's like your ear goes to your collarbone, rolls around halfway. Don't think all the other way to the left. Just think more center and then up. Yes? And it happens on those transitions on the 4. So when you're doing that passe, para, para. I don't really do it that much. It's more like it's more feminine. So I don't really do it, which is why I want to style it more masculine. So once I figure that out, I'll definitely shoot a video on that. But for right now, mostly what I do is, or what I'm struggling with, and I assume most of you guys would struggle with too, is keeping your frame. Meaning, remember what I taught you, like in the gym when we do bench press or squat, you retract your scapula, and that should be your basic salsa, what's it called? Frame, right? It's keeping that frame and making sure that my elbows are staying close to my body while doing it, and making sure that my arms don't drop down here. And they tend to drop when I drop my level and go into that passe. So really, now what I'm doing is making sure that I'm emphasizing that passe on those transitions, but making sure that my frame, or more so my arms, are staying by my nipple area to make the movement look clean and to make sure that it looks like I know what I'm doing. Yes. Yeah, so that's it for the movie. So that's it for the Suzy Q. I'll definitely remake this video in the future as I'm learning more technique on like head rolls and like just overall body movement that I can add in the future. And also I want to style the Suzy Q. So I'm excited to do that. And yeah, so thank you all for watching. And I hope you drill all the levels. That's kind of why I broke it down into levels. So you kind of know where you're at. Record yourself so you know where you're at. And from there, just start drilling. So you could start getting comfortable with the movement. So by the time I do style it and add some like hands and different things of that nature, that basic movement doesn't break down. Because that's what tends to happen if you haven't drilled your basics well enough. That once you start styling, like yes, your styling looks nice, but the movement starts to not look like the move did before you styled it. Yes? So that's it. Thank you for watching. And remember, the mirror is a liar, so record yourself. Later.